Game 3 saw some highlights from LeBron, including in an early flourish, an off-the-backboard slam. Kevin Love was aggressive early, inside and outside. But Golden State weathered that storm, and then the storm known as Kevin Durant. 43 points, 3 big ones to seal it from 28 feet. And good night, Cleveland, down 3-0 in this series. Golden State 1 win away. Outside, they flee from the building. Inside, we sit and try and understand it all. Welcome to our Game Time Live set, presented by YouTube TV. It is Casey Stern, Grant Hill, Chris Webber, Sir Charles down on the end. Guys, let's talk about the end of this game. Steph Curry was 0 for 9 from 3, had not had a good game, but then hits the huge 3 to put it 111-107, one of the bigger shots in the game.
Listen, you can talk about Curry all you want to. It's all about Kevin Durant. He won this game. He won this single-handedly. Kevin Durant won this game. I mean, I'm looking at these stats right here. If somebody had told you before the game that Clay was going to go 4 for 11, Steph was going to go 3 for 16 and 1 for 10, you're like, there's no way the Warriors can win this game. Listen, I'm going to just shake Kevin Durant's hand. That was a spectacular performance, and there's nothing you can do. He's a scoring machine, but this was all about Kevin Durant tonight, plain and simple.
Now, can you read? What does it say here? What does that say? Does that say TNT? Does that say Studio J? Does that? I'm in charge here on this set.
Let me back up.
Okay.
Let me just tell you this. Listen, big fella.
I want to ask you all this because we saw this in Game 3 last year from Kevin Durant. We talked in pregame, right or not, because he's one of the best players, and I want to hear all three of you on this, of him floating in and out, maybe not being consistently as good. What did you see tonight from him that you loved from Kevin Durant?
Well, he was really good, and he was aggressive, he was efficient, and he played like I thought he played like he played last year in the finals. Like it was personal. It was almost like it was his first time getting to this point like he did last year, and he just came out and they needed him, and he was aggressive. He was in control. I thought his post-ups, his pull-ups, everything was strong and confident, which I've seen at times he didn't look sure of himself when he was going, but he was in a nice groove, and they just kept feeding him, and no matter who Cleveland put on him, he was able to be effective and get things done.
Yeah, we usually see Kevin Durant play well when Curry plays well. What I like is that tonight what he did was basically saying, I see your shots off, I see your shots off. This is what you brought me in for. I'll be the closer. And he started closing the game early on. And he had 7 assists. And why is that so big? He could have had 7 hockey assists. But all that shows is that when the double team came, he was looking for other guys because you can't check him one-on-one, period. And if they did bring help, he converted it through other guys. And this is the type of game, you want to see him play. Along with 13 rebounds, he was doing everything tonight.
One of the things that we all talked about at watching the game upstairs is, Chuck, we would watch the Cavs go have a great possession. They run 20 seconds off, get a shot. Then Golden State one slip screen in that play that we all broke down in pregame, and they did it seemingly 30 times.
Casey, I've never seen a team that dumb in my life. And I mean that seriously.
I mean that lovingly.
No, seriously.
I mean that with all the warmth.
The play that Dominique and Dennis Scott, we talked about it before the game.
Yeah.
I bet how do you think? 10, 12, 15?
I thought more than that, at least.
Layups.
Yes.
On a simple slip screen. For the same play to work that many times, that's just stupidity. And you have to blame the players to a certain degree and the coaches. To run a simple play like that and get a layup every single time, that's just dumb and stupid, plain and simple.
Chuck, the game, obviously Kevin Durant, as you said, but to your point, Andre Iguodala, 3 for 4, Sean Livingston, 4 for 5, Jordan Bell, 4 for 5, McGee, 5 for 7.
Yeah.
Those are all high, efficient, high percentage, in the paint
On
dunks.
the same play, Grant.
On the same play.
Over and over.
Dive
Maybe
and
too much attention
right
on
to the
Clay and Steph. I don't know, but
Yeah,
a
but
lot
you
of it
can't
is
give
just
up a layup every time.
No, I agree. A lot of this is miscommunication, not being connected there on the defensive
There
end.
were times, just to be fair on defense, when Kevin Durant was hot late. Fair or unfair on the set, you wanted to see LeBron stick to KD more defensively and take on that challenge.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
That would have been good.
But like I say,
I thought he waited too late.
I just have a problem. I just have a problem with what Grant just said. All those plays were slip layups. To let those basically go 15 for 20 on layups. That was the difference in the game. Obviously, KD was fantastic, but to run the same simple play and get a layup every single time, that's ridiculous.
You know, we got to a point where there was about 35 seconds left, and there was a lead of 4, and tight end foul, and they just kind of let the clock run down, and then it was 6, and it was too late. Were any of you surprised about kind of the way that the end of the game was handled? I mean, it seemed like the Warriors kind of went up 6 or 8 and then just coasted to the finish last couple of minutes.
I think the Cavs were resigned to the fact that they were going to lose. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down 4 with 30 seconds to go, and they have the ball. You can't. You're not going to get 2 possessions. I think they're like, we're not going to win this game, and that's unfortunate.
From Kevin Durant, I want to talk about Iguodala though, because that was brought up there. One of the bigger plays, we were all talking about it, didn't really look healthy, was kind of, a foul here, a foul there, and then all of a sudden Chuck got up when he needed to with that huge dunk late in the 4th.
He got a great dunk, and he talked about Bell and all those other guys. But like you said, we should probably get back to Kevin Durant. Listen, we can throw all those other guys out there. They made a play here or there, but this is all about, Steve Kerr just said it, hey, those guys all play good. We should get back to Kevin Durant. I saw LeBron score 29 out of 30 against the Pistons.
Yeah.
I said that was the best playoff performance I'd seen since I've been on television. This is a close second. This guy was, first of all, if you actually look at this, he had 43, but he was 15 for 23, which is very efficient. But you factor in 13 rebounds and 7 assists, this is one of the best performances I've ever seen in a playoff game live. This is ridiculous.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, it was spectacular. And the efficiency, the aggressiveness, it's just weird because we saw that like game 1 in Houston.
Yeah.
He came out, and then we saw him at times a little out of it. I didn't think he was at his best game 1 in this series. Played better game 2. And then tonight, I mean, it's like he took it personal.
You know what?
A signature performance.
I criticized LeBron about it was X amount of years he went to Miami when they wasn't winning. I says, LeBron's such a nice guy. He's got to realize, hey, I know this is Dwayne Wade's team, but I'm the best player. And I said, you got to do your thing. And he went out and scored like 30 in the first half against Boston and flipped that series because they were down 3-2 and going back to Boston.
Yep.
Kevin Durant has to accept the fact he is probably the most unguardable player in the world. I know he wants to be a nice guy and it's Steph's team. And I'm not comparing myself to these guys, I just want to make this point. When I got traded to Phoenix, this guy asked me, he says, who team is? I said, my damn team. He said, well, it's been Kevin and Dan. I said, it's been Kevin and Dan's team. I said, well, it's Kevin and Dan's team till I got here, and now it's my team. And I think that Kevin, nobody can guard him, but I think he's such a nice kid, and he's so doesn't have that killer. He could do this most nights or every night, and that's why we get mad at him at times for not doing it. Because he's unguardable.
But isn't this what makes the Warriors great, an all-time team? We talk about their Hall of Famers that are on this team. It could be Clay, like you talked about in pregame, during some of these big games over the years. It could be Steph in Game 2, and now be Durant. They could pass that baton, and not everybody needs to bring their best game every night because they have so many different options.
Yeah, I still think they want to bring their best game, but offensively you don't have to go to the well each time. And I agree with Chuck in the fact that, first of all, Durant is the unicorn. It's not Porzingis. Usually you get somebody else the nickname you want. He's the unicorn. There's no other player like him, but those other guys allow him to play in this system. The other guys allow the system to happen, which allows other guys to flourish. And then when you need a home run, you put him up to bat. So it was a lot of fun watching him. And I agree with Chuck. But, Chuck, I do think that from you saying this, from him winning the championship last year, from this happening this year and probably going on, I think he's going to try to get that killer because he's proven it. He can't run for himself.
And I think, too, that Steph welcomes that. A lot of guys who were 2 times MVP, like it's very territorial when a new guy comes in. But Steph and Clay, I think they want him to be this Kevin Durant.
Absolutely.
And I think
they know
this
that
was the first step. You know, Grant, this is one of the reasons old guys like me didn't hate it when Kevin went to Golden State, because he made them pretty much unbeatable.
Right.
You know, it was really, we knew there was going to be a power shift, and we were like, they get Kevin Durant, they're going to keep winning. And it hadn't been good for the NBA. It's probably not going to change anytime soon. I mean, I don't even think any of those guys are 30.
It's scary.
None of them are leaving.
But 2 years ago, I mean, Steph Curry going 3 for 16, 1 for 10 from the
they
three-point line. They
Right.
have no chance of winning
But
on
Kevin,
the road.
But Kevin he's the guy who took him to a whole nother level.
You know, I want to look at you guys' reference to it. Let's go back to last year in the finals, obviously finals MVP. Remember Game 3? Flashback to this, the biggest shot of Kevin Durant's career. Hit that to go win Game 3.
Same spot tonight?
That's correct. Hey, you know, you must have been in TV for a couple of minutes here, Chuck.
18 years.
Guess what we're doing here? Pretty much the same spot.
That's a little deeper. And how about that hand? Look at his hand coming out in his face. I mean, I don't know if you can play better defense than that.
You cannot. That's it. Hey, listen, it was his night.
Draymond pretty happy about it. Kevin Durant again, 43 points, third most by a Warrior in franchise history on the road in a finals game. Let's talk about the Cavs side. Got off to a great start. One of the things I think everybody liked here on the desk was how aggressive Kevin Love was. That was a big factor in the first half. Second chance points. They got 10 of the first 12 in the first quarter. They did all the right things, but still they come out of that first quarter and they're right in a tight game. They didn't have a lead regardless.
They got off to a good start. I think at one point they were up 12-4. Mm-hmm. They were feeding off the energy and the emotion in the building. Kevin Love was aggressive. J.R. Smith hit a corner three. The energy level Chuck talked about, just playing hard, they did that. But with that all said and done, Golden State was able to weather that storm, just stay in the game, make good solid plays, a lot of easy baskets for them early while they were struggling finding their rhythm. And before you know it, at the end of the first quarter, it's like a one-point game.
Yeah. And if you watch Golden State any of this year and seen them against Houston or other teams, it's almost messed up when you get a 10, 12-point lead.
Right.
Because it's almost better to stay close all game and then try to win at the end as opposed to playing your best ball, being the most energetic, having the crowd in it, get up 14, then you turn around, Chuck, and you're down 2.
I mean, how much is that defeating from a player's standpoint when you get a 16-4? It was at one point a great start like that, Chuck. You get out, you're even after the first quarter.
Well, I don't even think it matters the first quarter. I think when you're coming down the stretch, they didn't use the other 2 nuclear weapons tonight. They used the one big weapon. And that's defeating because LeBron has to make every play for the Cavs when the game's on the line. They have that luxury. They have 3 nuclear weapons. 2 of the weapons didn't fire tonight. And that's defeating to a team. And like Grant just said it, on a bunch of those shots, they're playing good defense on Kevin. Yeah. But he is 7 feet tall. He's shooting up at that rim. He got a little guy on him most of the time. That's defeating when you play good defense and then guys are still scoring and you're really working hard to score on the other end.
You know, they got help from the others tonight. You got 13 out of JR, even though he didn't shoot that well, 20 out of Kevin Love. And it's amazing. We're watching upstairs, and what was it, Chuck? You said it's unbelievable how when you actually let a guy play, he can play well. You know, Rodney Hood played pretty well.
Well, I've been critical of Ty Lue because I talk about it on our show all the time. A coach can't give you confidence, but he can take your confidence away. Listen, Rodney Hood is a good player. Jeff Green's a good player. But they are so scared when they're on the court because they know if they miss a couple shots, there's bad body language, and the coach snatched them out the game. So you never get consistent confidence, consistent energy, because, number one, you don't know when you're going to get to play. And these guys know. We've been around a long time. Guys, they act like they're into the game, but if you're not going to play, it's fake bravado. It's fake bravado, Casey, because guys want to play.
Eyewash.
We in the finals, man.
Right.
Nobody wants to sit over there and then just be a cheerleader the whole game. But they are so sporadic with their substitution. Like those guys that even play against Indiana, and like, wait, dude, you didn't now you want to play me, and I hate the way they do their rotation with the Cavs.
Well,